Over to
Oh,
you, Erin.
thank you. You've done an absolutely fantastic job, Tom. I feel a little bit emotional myself. There's been all these wonderful connections and conversations, and I will say it's not just a North America thing, but there has been a sense that there are big, big headwinds to taking care of our communities, to living a fruitful life, to feeling like we have stability. We saw that in those stats that came out of Co-ops and Mutuals Canada presentation earlier in the week. There's a lot of things that are making it hard to feel like the economy and society can work for us. And throughout this week, I feel so fired up that there's not only hope, which I think is a prerequisite for the work that we do, that we feel like things can get better, but I've seen way too many examples of things working at a micro and medium level to not feel like we really do have huge strength in numbers globally to make those changes across the board. So this is our closing for the 2026 International Symposium on Cooperative Identity and Energizing the Cooperative Brand. I wanted to take a moment to run through where we've been and then a moment to talk about where we're going next. And I am Erin Hancock. I am the Education Manager with the International Center for Co-op Management out of St. Mary's University's Business School. So just to recap, these are the themes that we wanted to address. And like I said, at the beginning of the week, we covered many of them within each of the sessions. They weren't necessarily split up in this way because they are interconnected, of course. So assessing authenticity, effective branding, cooperative identity, positioning, and messaging, marketing the cooperative advantage, or we sometimes say MOCA for short, communicating cooperative identity and building cooperative culture. And this was looking internally as well at organizations and internal communication and behavior. And then resonating in the contemporary digital landscape, where we certainly talked about how we connect with members and future members through social media, websites, other connection points, as well as AI. So how did we do it? Well, these are the themes, or rather getting into the topics that were covering all those themes. So we first had a workshop last Thursday. So a week ago, we kicked this off with the pre-symposium workshop focused on what makes our co-op different and reverse engineering to find our market and our members, public awareness, public policy and law, alignment with cooperative culture and identity, effective branding in the digital landscape, branding and labeling. That was a good conversation. Are we the next fair trade label that folks are going to be looking for when they're purchasing or considering partnership and membership? Sustainability of reporting and telling the cooperative story, credit unions and marketing, engaging new audiences, visibility to the network. We had that World Map.coop showcase, and then marketing for member loyalty and engagement, which of course we've just seen. And Tom, I'll ask you just if there's anybody that's joining, please let them in while I'm doing the closing. Our goals were to bring people together, to invite dialogue wherever we could. And I really commend everyone who's been part of this because there has been so much happening in the chat. I can tell that people are making the most of this. They're making direct connections. They're making plans to connect later. That's definitely what we wanted. We wanted to advance our thinking and informing our action around branding, messaging, and marketing, both at the individual level at our own cooperatives as well as the wider sector in our countries, regions, or globally. To elevate the way we show up in the economy and society and how we reach our current members and future members. And then expanding the resources, tools, and pathways, because a lot of us have great intentions, but don't necessarily understand all the tools at our fingertips or the methods where we could do this. So I am truly grateful for what I've learned this week myself. So just to recap, we had 46 speakers and moderators from 11 countries, 25 presentations or workshops over the 4 days, and 430 attendees. So big, big reach for this. And just to show you again, that's the map of where our attendees are coming in from throughout the week. So just awesome, just awesome. 52 different countries represented in the folks who have been attending. I want to say a really huge thank you to Tom and John, Tom Ivy with .coop, and John McNamara with the Northwest Center for Cooperative Development as co-conspirators in generating the idea for this event over a year ago and bringing it together, and for finding the resources within your organizations to make this available for free to attendees as well. That's been huge. I can't believe we're almost done the event because it's been wonderful. I want to also say thank you to Cooperatives and Mutuals Canada for supporting the event and providing translation services. That's made it available to a wider community of people sharing in this good work. And thank you to all of the speakers who gave up their time and wisdom. And, there's a lot of work that goes into learning these things. So to be able to then give us shortcuts by learning them from you has meant a lot. And thank you to all the people that put their time in this week to show up here as participants and again, to contribute to the chat and help us all learn together. So we as a center have been absolutely honored to be part of this and to be the hosts. When we put out the call for speakers, we could not believe the amount of topics and ideas and people that stepped forward, the quality of what people have brought this week. I think it's raised the bar on what these kinds of events can do. And I'm just so delighted that people stepped up in that way. We as a center try to do whatever we can to bring people together to connect and build their knowledge base. And, we stand on the shoulders of the people who founded what we do over 20 years ago now. And whatever we can do to help you in your journey, we're really happy to do that. And we do have lots of great programming coming up. I'll do my last plug for our online part-time certificate, graduate diploma, and master of management and co-ops and credit unions program. You just saw two of our students/graduates and how fabulous they are in the work that they're doing. So that's a great calling card. And so I want to just shout that out. We do have bursaries available, and that's a good segue to mention too. In the follow-up email, we will share with you an opportunity. If you did find value in this and you want to pay forward that goodwill and you have the means, you'll have an opportunity to contribute to the bursary fund that allows people to access those programs. And if that's not within your means, we're glad that you were here, and we're happy if you share out and implement some of what you've learned into your work. That's a great way to pay it forward as well. I also wanted to mention there are a lot of free and open resources available on our website, including a book from our last symposium that came out in 2021 on cooperative governance. So what's next? Just to mention that we will send an email to give you an update when we have all the slide shares and the video shared. But if you keep going back to the same website you used to register, then everything will be updated there in time. We hope to have a publication. It seems like that would be interesting to folks to have an artifact coming out of this that they can refer back to, aside from the recordings and the slides. We want to keep the conversations going. There was an idea to give a link to a Google form if people want to put in their information, and so that other people can contact them directly. If people are open for that, we'd be happy to facilitate it. So all in all, we've reached the end of our time together. I welcome for you to fill in the evaluation, tell us what you like, tell us how we could improve and what you want to see again in the future. And thank you so much to everyone who put their heart and soul into things and their brains and brought them all together this week. It's meant a lot to all of us. So appreciate all of you. We'll stay after for a few minutes if anyone wants to chat. Otherwise, we'll send you on your way, and thank you for everything.